Hi, it's Big V here. Today we're talking teams, and today we're talking about one of the most important things you need to know as a team leader and a team member. Are you ready? It's not how do we create more opportunities, but it's how do we convert more of the opportunities that are coming? How do we convert our leads? It may seem complex to you, but it's as simple as ABC. You know, I sold my first company to homes.com and the .com frenzy, and it was fascinating to watch as we helped over 100,000 real estate agents incorporate web strategies into their regular business. And the biggest thing was they turned on the internet and all of a sudden they started generating all these leads. And we knew that if we didn't create a system for converting leads, we would never have success. Well, that system of the ABCs of lead follow-up, while it was successful then, is even more successful today because it allows us to think strategically about every single lead that comes in the pipeline. Here's a Verlism for you. There are no bad leads, only people who aren't ready yet. So if you look at every single lead as the true value of the lead, it changes the way you respond. Has anybody ever done the math with you and helped you figure out how much is a client worth to you in real estate? I want you to think about this. How many of you are in real estate as a career? You've actually chosen this as a career and you're going to stay in the business. Okay, good. Put it in the chat down below. Let's see who's in the business. How many of you been in more than 5 years? Anybody been in more than 10 years? All right, come on, chat it out. Let's go. Let's get it going. More than 20 years? How long have you been in the business? All right, so let me ask you this. Is it possible that if you're honest and ethical in your business, you do what you say you're going to do, and you follow up with your clients, that after you sell them that first house 5 to 7 years from now, they call you back and you sell their second one and possibly list the first one? How many times in your career has that happened? I would love to know how many of you get tons of referrals from your past clients, repeat referral business. You see, when you gain a client, the average value of a client in real estate today is almost $100,000. That's a one client. If you do the lifetime value of a client, and a client is worth $100,000 to you, how much does it cost you when you don't follow up with someone or you lose a client? You see, the lost income is also $100,000. And I found that when you really understand that every time you lose a client because you failed to follow up, or you didn't really realize they were ready to go, or they weren't ready to go for 2 years, and so you hope they'd call and turn themselves in, the whole wish marketing program that you're working doesn't work. When you lose a client, it costs you $100,000. I always want to ask, does your spouse know? Does your significant other know? Does your partner know that you lost $100,000 today because you didn't follow up? That concept of understanding the value of a client is why we created the ABC of lead conversion. Are you ready for it? Are you ready to follow the A, B's, and C's of lead conversion? If you're ready for it, let's go. For those of you that aren't real ready for it yet, that's okay. Pay attention, and then when you are ready, come back and watch the video. Here's what we're going to do. You're first going to define what an A lead is. An A lead is somebody that is ready to buy or sell in the next 30 days, and you have a scheduled appointment with them. So A stands for appointment. It's a qualified lead who's going to pull the trigger in the next 30 days, and you have a scheduled appointment. The way that we talk about A leads is simply this. If you don't have an appointment with them, they're not a B lead. So let's say that somebody calls up and says, hey, I found a house on Zillow. I want to go look at it. You say, great, I'll meet you at the property. You go let them in the property. When you show them the home, you say, okay, would you like to look at another house next week? They say, sure, let's get together next week. You say, okay, I'll call you next week. Is that an appointment? Nope, it's not. An appointment means you ask them, do you want to look at properties again next week? They say yes. You say, you want to go the beginning of the week or the end of the week? They say the beginning of the week. You say, great. You want to go Monday or Tuesday? They say Tuesday. I say, awesome. I have morning and afternoon available. What works best for you? They say morning. I say, I have 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock. They say 11, and I put them in the calendar. An appointment means you have a specific time and date that is scheduled. And we teach our agents that whenever you meet with a client, you always have to schedule the next appointment, even if they have no inventory. So in today's market where we have limited inventory, you go out and show a house, there's not any houses to see. Your job as the buyer's agent is to find properties to show them before your next appointment. And I don't care what it takes. If you have to call your past clients, you go after for sale by owners or expired listings or notices of default. You need to find properties that meet their criteria, and your job is to have houses to show them regardless of what's coming up on the MLS. If you want to separate yourself from all the other agents that are average in the marketplace, then you start setting appointments and you never leave without scheduling the next appointment. So what's an A lead? An A lead is somebody you have an appointment with that's ready to buy or sell. Okay, B leads. A B lead is great. A B lead is someone who's 30 to 90 days out. They're interested in buying, but there's things that have to qualify or where they have to do. It makes them ready to go 30 to 90 days. 30 to 90 days. The way that you follow up with a B lead is we are going to call them 2 times a month during the weeks that the 1st falls in and the weeks that the 15th falls in. So a B lead we're going to call twice a month during the weeks of the 1st and the 15th. This is called a systematic approach to lead conversion. You never want someone to feel like they're not important to you. So we call them twice a month during the weeks that the 1st falls in, the weeks the 15th falls in. So what do you say to a B lead when you call them? I'm going to give you the exact dialogue. You pick up the phone, you say, "Hi, this is Verl. I'm calling to make sure I'm not dropping the ball. Are you getting the properties that the system's automatically sending you?" "Yes, I am." "Awesome. Is there anything you'd like me to change with the search? Would you like me to expand the area? Maybe do 3-car garage instead of 2-car garage? Or maybe you need me to try a couple of different school districts?" Ask them and suggest some alternatives to give them more options. And then the important question is there any particular property you'd like to get in? If they say, "No, not yet, I'm still 60 days out," say, "No problem, I just want to make sure that I'm not dropping the ball." You call them every 2 weeks, the week of the 1st and the week of the 15th. And you call and say, "This is Verl, I'm calling to make sure I'm not dropping the ball." What do you think they say? "Oh no, you're not dropping the ball. You call me every 2 weeks." And I say, "I know, and I'm going to continue to do that until we find the right property. I hope you don't mind me making sure we do the right thing for your family." You see, follow-up is about serving, not selling. I'm not talking them into buying when they're not ready to buy. I don't make them buy a home they don't like or that doesn't meet their family's needs. All I'm doing is putting myself in a position where I'm giving real value during the time that they're thinking about purchasing a home. We serve regardless of the opportunity. If they don't end up using me as a buyer's agent, that's okay. I'm going to continue to serve them and give them the greatest experience. And then when they do business with someone else and they're let down, they'll think of me next time because I understand the lifetime value of a client. An A lead is somebody who you have an appointment with. A B lead is 30 to 90 days out. We're going to call them 2 times a month during the weeks that the 1st falls in and the 15th falls in. The next is a C lead. A C lead is more than 90 days out. They're a good buyer or seller. They could be 90 days to a year out. We're going to call C leads once a month during the week that the 8th falls in. So during the week that the 8th falls in, we're going to call our C leads. Well, what do you think I'm going to tell you to say to a C lead? Try this. "Hi, this is Verl. I'm just calling to make sure I'm not dropping the ball." I promise you, they're not going to say, "Well, ho, ho, ho. Isn't that what you're saying to your B leads?" They don't know what you're saying to your B leads. And the dialogue just works because it says I'm making sure it's about me not dropping the ball instead of me trying to sell you something. I just want to make sure I'm not dropping the ball. I'm sending you some properties. How's your family doing? I use Ford. How's your family? How's work? How's your recreation? What are you doing for fun? You still playing pickleball? And what's coming next with the kids? I want to do family, occupation, recreation, dreams. I'm going to work on developing a relationship because I know they're not ready to buy or sell yet. I'm going to say, "Oh, by the way, have you heard about our interest rate offset program?" They go, "What's that?" I said, "Oh, we've created a really cool program that offsets the difference in the house payment by offsetting the difference of the interest rate. It's a whole calculation thing. I sent you a copy if you like it." I'm going to give them value on every single call, regardless of whether or not they use me, because I want them to think of me as someone who understands the marketplace and how to take advantage and help them win in the situation that they're in with buying or selling their property. You see, my job as a real estate agent isn't to talk people into moving. It's to be there when they're ready and to be at the front of their mind at the moment that they make that decision or that life event occurs that causes them to move. And so what do? We do the A's, which is we set an appointment. We do the B's, calling twice a month during the weeks of the 1st and the 15th. We work our C's, calling them once a month during the week of the 8th. And then during the week of the 22nd, we work our sphere of influence and our top 50. It's not that this system is better than others. It's that it's a system. And systems for anything you do 3 times. If you systematically follow up with your leads, if you systematically do the right thing and you serve regardless of opportunity, you will systematically convert a higher percentage and you'll have more opportunities to make a difference in the lives of people as they prepare to buy and sell real estate. I'm going to give you the ABCs of lead management. I'm going to give it to you right here. You can download it just by clicking on the link at the bottom of the video right here. Download it and then start using it. It's a real simple system and it just works. Let me ask you this question. How much better is this system than the one you're currently not using?